Hey guys, Tony Porter, Cards and Dice TV, and here we are back with another out of production 1974 Nolan Ryan replay game. This is replay game number 9. At this point, Nolan Ryan trying to recreate his 5.5 walks per 9 innings. We are at 5.0 going into game 9, so pretty darn close for Stratomatic. Uh, um, so I'm happy about that. And in his last outing, which was his 8th outing, uh, Ryan took a loss. His record now is 5-3. He went 9 innings, 6 hits, 3 earned runs, 7 walks, and 11 strikeouts. The game before that, he had I have him down for only 2 walks and 7 strikeouts. I have him with 9, 2, 2, 2, and 7, and that doesn't seem like a lot of walks at all. So, yeah, so that in that 7th start, he only walked 2, allowed 10 hits, but only walked 2, gave up 2 runs, 7 strikeouts. And we're getting ready to embark on start number 9 versus the Kansas City Royals. You'll get to see a close-up of all the out-of-production cards on the advanced side. And let's see how Ryan does in terms of strikeouts and base on balls. Base on balls wise, he's at 5.0. I did not add up the strikeouts. I'm going to do that in start number 10, and let's see what happens. Let's play. All right, the lineups: Freddie Patek for the Kansas City Royals, Jim Wolford. In left field, Amos Otis, a center fielder. John Mayberry, at first base. Batting cleanup, 5th is Hal McRae, the DH. 6th is Rojas, the second baseman. Pinson in right field. Healy, the catcher, and Brett at third base. Batting 9th, yes, believe it or not, the great George Brett batting 9th. This is when he starts out, right? 74. I think he first came up in 73, or was it 72? No, it was 73, I believe. For the California Angels, it's going to be the home team, of course, today. Mickey Rivers, the center fielder. Dave Chalk is at shortstop. Valentine, the left fielder. Frank Robinson, the DH. Bob Oliver at first base. Paul Shaw, third baseman. Tommy McCraw at right field. Ellie Rodriguez at catcher. And Denny Doyle, the second baseman. Nolan Ryan is on the mound. And here's the pitch. All right, and it's going to be I'm missing a die. Column 5 against a righty, and it's going to be a 6, and that's ball 4. So Ryan walks Patek, and Patek is an A base stealer. So there he goes, and he is safe. Stolen base for Freddie Patek. All right, next is Jim Wolford. Sometimes I'll just use the D20 that I roll because I'm not really looking at it. I've trained myself not to look at it. It's a 2 and a 6 versus a righty, and that's going to be struck him out. Ryan blows a fastball by Wolford. Heads back to the bench with the bat on his shoulders. A look of confusion on his face. Amos Otis is up next with a runner on second base, and the pitch, it's a 5. He's a righty again, a 5 and an 8, and that's struck him out. Another big K for the Express. And cleanup hitter John Mayberry. And that's a 3. And a 4 is a deep drive to right field way back. And looking up is McCraw, and that ball is gone. John Mayberry drives one deep. And it's 2-0 Royals. So Ryan wishes he had that pitch back for sure. Left that fastball over the plate, and John Mayberry was all over it. Here's Hal McRae, and that is again another righty. That's a 6 and an 8. It'll be a ball 4. So another walk, the second walk in this inning by Nolan Ryan. So Nolan Ryan is struggling a little bit. Out goes Ellie Rodriguez to have a chat with him, and Cookie Rojas now. So luckily, I found all the players in the carded set which is when you do that, you feel like you've really accomplished something with Stratomatic. So all the players that started in this game were in the carded set, which is amazing because I didn't have to create any cards. All right, here's the pitch to Cookie Rojas. And again, another righty. It's a 6 and a 5. And that's a triple single split. And a 2 is going to be a drive into the corner. And that's going to bound off the wall. It goes over the left fielder's head. And around second is Rojas. Scoring is McRae. And Rojas is in there with an RBI 2-out triple. Wow. So we're going to double check that. 6 against a righty and a 5 is going to be, we rolled that 2. And that's going to be a triple for Cookie Rojas. He picks up an RBI. And I know I call him Kookie, but I struggle with that. All right. I lose sleep over that. Here's Veda Pinson. Nolan Ryan versus Veda Pinson. Now this is the first lefty that Nolan Ryan is dealing with. And it's going to be a 1 and an 8. And that's a home run 1-6, but it's a 14. So that's going to be a drive in the gap. Scoring easily is Rojas. Digging for second is Pinson, and he is safe. Wow. So RBI double. So Nolan Ryan is really struggling here, and he's going to get a visit from the pitching coach. Batter number 8 so far, Fran Healy, coming up. So it's Fran Healy versus Nolan Ryan. And, one thing about this game, I have to say, it gives you definitely yesteryear feel, that retro feel, especially when you use these cards. It definitely it takes you back to the 70s for sure. And that's the nice thing about it. There's that strong sense of nostalgia. In just the gameplay and the I guess the font and the gameplay and the whole thing. So I mean, this game was developed yesteryear, right? It was developed in the late 40s, early 50s. Stratomatic, I'm speaking of, and it didn't come to fruition until the early 60s. But he had been working on it for a while. Read the book, Fanatics. All right, here's a pitch to Fran Healy. Ryan sets and deals. And that's a 6. He's a righty again, a 6 and an 8, and that is ball 4. Third walk allowed by Ryan. I don't know if he's going to get out of this inning. Wow, he's already faced 8 batters. And here comes George Brett with runners on first and second. The pitch, he is a lefty, and it's a 6 and an 8, and that's ball 4. That loads the bases. So the Royals have batted around here in the first inning. And the top of the order comes up. It's going to be Freddie Patek. Yikes. Don't know what to do at this point. Hopefully he get the next batter out and he'll settle down after this inning. So far they've scored 4 runs here in the first inning. And it's Freddie Patek, his second at bat. And here's the pitch. And that is a 4. And a 6 is a strikeout. And that ends the inning. So Ryan allows 4 big runs on 3 hits and 3 walks. And the Royals have taken a 4-0 lead with the Angels coming to bat. So they really got Ryan's number in that first inning. And here's Paul Splittorff, the lefty, versus Mickey Rivers. Oh. And that's going to be a 6 off the pitcher against a lefty, and an 8 is bouncer to second base with a 16. Where's that chart? Here it is. Second baseman is a 2. I'm just using this one, a 2, 16, and that is a ball that's bobbled, and Rivers is safe. So it's an E4. And Rivers is going to go, and he is safe. He is an A base stealer. We're down by, I realize we're down by 4, but guess what? It's early in the game. We need to slowly chip away and get some runs on the board. So Dave Chalk is up now. Here's a pitch from Splittorff. And that's a 6 and a 10, and that's a bouncer to short with an X. Shortstop is a 2. We rolled a 12, and that'll be an out. It's going to be 6-3 with the runner holding. Next is Bobby Valentine. And he is a righty, so that's a 5 and an 8. That's line and caught. ripped. Sweet spot. Hits it on the screws right at first baseman Mayberry. Big old John Mayberry. And that's 2 outs. And here's Frank Robinson. And that's a 3 and an 8. And a 3 and an 8 is, oh, he gets plunked, hit by pitch. So Robinson heads to first base. That puts runners on first and third for Bob Oliver. And you can see how beat up that card is. That's from the teamless player set, which is really not easy to find. I mean, the extra players are not easy to find, but then you have the extra player teamless set, which come in that set, I guess. And they're it's good to get a hold of them, those cards. So here it is, Bob Oliver against Paul Splittorff. And he's a righty, so that's a 5, and a 3 is a ground ball. Bounce to the first baseman Mayberry, who steps on the bag, and that retires the side. No runs, no hits, an error, and a hit by pitch. And we move to the top of the second inning. All right, so you can see how I do this on the score sheet. When an inning, there's a bat around in an inning, I continue on the next side, but then I'm going to continue going down the second inning here. At one time, I would just change the number on top, and that became horrible. That became very confusing. But now I fix it. You'll see how it quickly gets corrected. Jim Wolford is up against Nolan Ryan. He struck out in the first inning in that terrible inning. Ryan gave up 3 walks and 3 hits. Gave up 4 runs. Here's a pitch. And that's going to be a 6 off Ryan against a righty, a 6 and a 6. And that is a drive in the gap. And that's going to be 1 hop off the wall. So it's a leadoff double for Wolford and Nolan Ryan. Nolan Ryan's troubles continue. Amos Otis is up next. Pitch from Ryan. And that is a 4 and a 6 and struck him out second consecutive time. Amos Otis cannot handle Ryan's fastball. And John Mayberry's upside down. And he hit a 2-run homer. And that's going to be a 2 and a 4. And that's a fly ball to right center field. Backing up is a right fielder, McCraw, and he's under it for the 3rd out. So no runs, a hit, 1 left. And that's how you fix the bat around. See? So next inning, I can start in the 3rd. It works out. All right, here's a real ugly card that I created using the viewer. Paul Shaw, pitch from Splittorff. He's a righty. It's a 6 and an 8, and that is ball 4. So Shaw walks. Next is Tommy McCraw. Not a good hit and run guy, so he'll just swing away. And that is a 2 and a 5 against the lefty, and that's a bouncer to short. And shortstop Patek goes to Rojas for 1. Back to first, 6-4-3 double play. 2 out. And it's Ellie Rodriguez, the starting catcher for the Angels. And that is a 2 and a 4, and that's a drive to left, down the line. If it stays fair, it's gone, and that ball is hooking, fair ball, home run, solo shot for Ellie Rodriguez. And the Angels are on the board, 4-1 now. That's what you want to do. You want to chip away. And here's 2 outs, and Denny Doyle, left-handed hitter. And it's a 3 and a 3, and that is bounced to third. Brett up with it, fires to first, on target to retire the side. 4-1, top of the 3rd. Nolan Ryan against McRae, Rojas, and Pinson. And here is the pitch. And that's a 3 and a 5, and that is line and caught. Shortstop. Chalk. 1 down. Rojas is up next. Rojas tripled and drove in a run in that crazy first inning where Ryan couldn't get anybody out. This is going to be a 6 and a 6, and that is a down the line into the corner. And that's going to be at least at least 2, maybe 3. Big turn for Rojas, and throw comes in. He's in there with a 1-out double. Cookie Rojas is 2 for 2 with a triple and a double. He's on his way to the cycle today. Here's Veda Pinson. Here's a pitch. It's a 4, and it's an L this time with a 9. Struck him out. Strike 3. Gets him looking. Veda Pinson was frozen there on that. Here's Fran Healy, and that is a 6, and a 7 will be a base hit. Runners advance 1 base. They're going to hold up Rojas at first and third. Healy with a single. Hit it so hard right at the left fielder that Rojas had to hold. So it's a 7 and a 6 with a 3. I'm rolling a lot of low numbers on those splits. That's why he's giving up a lot of hits here. A lot of extra base hits he's given up so far. He's given up 5 extra base hits in this game. George Brett now with runners on first and third and 2 outs. Pitch from Ryan. And that is a 2 and a 12, and that's popped up. Middle infield, shortstop Chalk and second baseman Doyle come together, and it's Chalk who calls them off, and that retires the side. No runs, 2 hits, 2 left, and we go to the bottom of the third, 4-1. So the Angels picked up a home run in the bottom of the third. This is start number 9, 1974 cards using out of production Stratomatic. These are extremely hard to find. Here's the pitch, and it's going to be a 6 against a lefty. A 6 and a 2 is a fly ball. Shallow center field. Racing in is Otis, and Otis comes up with a fine catch off a shallow fly off the bat of Mick the Quick. Here's Dave Chalk, a right-handed hitter. He grounded to the shortstop in his first at bat, and that is a 6 and an 8, and that's ball 4. So that's a second walk allowed by Paul Splittorff. Chalk is on at first. Hit and run is B. There goes the runner. And it's going to be, what I wrote, that's a 4. He's a B. And that is a ground ball to first. Runner will advance. So runner in scoring position there for Frank Robinson. Robinson was hit by a pitch earlier in the first inning. Here's the pitch from Splittorff. And it's a 1-9er, and that's going to be a base hit. Will run score? No, it's not a base hit. Wait a second. That's wrong. It's a 1 and a 9. That's ball 4. Excuse me. I read it as 1 and an 8. So that's a walk. So that first hit landed foul, and the next pitch was a base on balls, ball 4. Here's Bob Oliver with runners on first and second and 2 outs. Pitch from Splittorff, and it's a 5 and a 12, and that's tapped right back to the mound. Splittorff handles it over to first, and that retires the side. No runs, no hits, 2 walks, 2 left on base. We go to the top of the 4th. Nolan Ryan versus the top of the order. Patek leads off. He's walked, stole a base, and struck out, scored a run. It's a 1 and a 3, and that's going to be a fly to right. McCraw is in right field today, and he squeezed it for out number 1. Here's Wolford. Wolford doubled. He's 1 for 2 today. That's a 6 and a 3, and that is a ground ball shortstop. Shortstop is a 4 and an 18, and the shortstop will make the play. So gets to it, throws to first, a little low, scooped out by first baseman Bob Oliver. And here's Amos Otis. Otis struck out twice. Let's see if it'll make it 3 in a row. The trifecta, it's a 1 and an 8, and that's a bouncer to short. Easy play for Chalk to retire the side. 3 up and 3 down for Ryan. So Ryan settled down, finally. His best inning so far. All right, so it's Paul Shaw against Paul Splittorff. Shaw walked in the 3rd. Bottom of the 4th. 4-1. So it's going to be a 4 and an 8, and that's line base hit center field. So Shaw rips one twice off the pitcher card. He's gotten a walk and a hit. Next is McCraw, and that is a 2 and a 6, and that's line base hit. And heading over to third is Shaw. First and third for the Angels here with nobody out, so they got something going against Paul Splittorff. And it's Ellie Rodriguez. They will play the infield halfway for the double play, allowing a run to score here. They want to prevent that big inning from happening. Here's a pitch from Splittorf. It's a 6 and a 6, and that's trouble. That's a drive in the gap, and that's going to be cut off. One run scores. The other runner goes to third, and that's going to be an RBI single for Ellie Rodriguez. So it's a 6 against a righty with a 6, and that it could have been a double, but I rolled so high that 17 turned it into a single. So it's first and third now. No, still nobody out, and it's Denny Doyle. Doyle is a good bunter. He's a good, not a great hit and run guy. I don't want to bunt right here. I'm not a big rather squeeze guy. So we're going to just swing away. Infield is halfway again. Score is 4-2 now. Here in the bottom of the fourth. And the pitch, it's a 3. That's going to be off the batter against a lefty. A 3 and an 8, and that's line base hit. Run scores 4-3 now, and the Angels are down by 1. Runner will stop at second. RBI single for Denny Doyle. It's a 3 against the lefty and an 8, and that is a single star. And I really like that aspect of Strat-O-Matic. It gives you the stars. I know some guys complain about it, say there are too many 2 stars, but those are the same guys that want, if a guy hit 315, they want the guy to hit 315 in their replay. If he hits 320, if he hits 310, I'm good with it. So I'm not going to lose sleep over it. So, all right. So runners on first and second, nobody out. Here's Mickey Rivers. Mickey Rivers is an 8 bunter, so I'm going to bunt with Mickey Rivers, and that is an 8. I'm going to move those runners over, put the tying run at third base. He is an A, and an 8 is going to be a batter thrown out by the first baseman. So it's a good sacrifice. First out of the inning. Runners move up. I put a little S there in the spot where the runner is. And here's Dave Chalk. So second and third. Infield's going to play in this time. Here's a pitch. And that is a 1 and a 10. And that's line base hit. 1 run scores. And they're waving Doyle home. The ball is cut off. And that will be a 2-run single by Dave Chalk. He comes up huge here in the bottom of the fourth. And the Angels have taken a 5-4 lead, and I think that's going to be all for Splittorf, and he is out. All right, so there's 1 out, runner on first, 2 runs scored there. So that bunt by Mickey Rivers pushing runners up to second and third was huge, because then you got a single 2-star off the bat of Chalk, and that knocks out Splittorf. Doug Bird comes in, the Bird, against Bobby Valentine. So here's a pitch. So Splittorf went 3.1. Now, in actuality, Ryan pitches a 4-hitter in this game. Ryan, and that's something I should have talked about at the opening, and I did not do that. Ryan, what did he do in this game? All right. I'll talk about that in a second. Yeah, in actuality, Ryan wins this game, goes 9 innings, 4 hits, 1 earned run, 8 walks, and 10 strikeouts. So Bobby Valentine versus Doug Bird. Here's a pitch, and that is a 2 against the righty. A 2 and a 6, and that'll be popped up left side. Third baseman Brett is there for the second out. So Bird comes in and gets Valentine to pop up. He's 0 for 3 today. Here's Frank Robinson, always dangerous. And that is a 3 and a 3, and that is bounce to third. Brett to his right. Long throw in time, and that retires the side. So 4 runs come in on 5 hits, and the Angels very efficiently tie this ball game up. And Nolan Ryan has a new life here now with a lead after really struggling in that first inning, allowing 4 runs on 3 hits and 3 walks. And he will be facing John Mayberry, who got to fly out deep in the second inning, but who homered off him in the first. Here's a pitch from the Express, and that's a 3 and a 7, and that is struck him out. Ryan blows a fastball by Mayberry, and Mayberry gets a taste of what the Ryan Express is all about. That is strikeout number 5 for the Express. And so far he's walked 1, 2, 3, so actually, he's walked 4. He had 4 walks in that first inning. Holy smokes. Here's Hal McRae. And that's a 2 and an 8. And that'll be bounced to short. To his left is Chalk. Over to first and in time. Chalk, not a great shortstop, but looked like Mark Belanger there. All right. Next is Cookie Rojas. Pitch from Ryan. That's a 6 and a 6, and that is a drive in the gap. That's going to split the outfielders and roll to the wall. The third extra base hit into second base ahead of the throw is Rojas, and that is the third extra base hit by Rojas in this game. So a 6 and a 6 is a double because I rolled that 3. Again, low numbers. Here's Veda Pinson. So 2 out, run around second, and pitch to Pinson. That's going to be a 2 and a 9er, and that's popped up left side. First baseman Bob Oliver over under it, and that is out number 3. No runs, a hit, 1 left. We go to the bottom of the 5th inning. The Angels have come back, come from behind, and lead it 5-4. Pretty crazy. Crazy. Okay, so Bird is facing Bob Oliver. Let me just move this back up a little bit. I don't know if it may be a little clearer if I move it just a little bit farther back. Oh, and I didn't throw that one. All right, so it's going to be off Bird, a 4 and a 5, and that is a drive down the line and into the corner. Digging for second is Oliver, and he's in there standing for a leadoff double for Bob Oliver. Paul Shaw is next. Pitch to Shaw, and that is a 3 against the righty, a 3 and a 10. Struck him out. Curveball gets him. So Bird strikes out Paul Shaw for the first out. Bob Oliver still at second base. Here's the lefty McCraw, and that is a 4 and an 8, and that's line base hit, and they will hold up Oliver. Right fielder is a +1. Oliver is not that fast. Oliver is a 1-12, so 1-13. You know what? I'm going to try to score it, and here it is, and he is safe. Oliver scores, makes it 6-4. So a single and an RBI for Tommy McCraw. Next is Ellie Rodriguez. And that is a 5 and a 10, and that will be a catcher X with an 11. Catcher is a 3. And that's the outfield. I was going to say it looks like they said a double. And that's foul out. So a pop-up in foul territory. Catcher Healy is there. F2, or FO2 if you will. And here is Denny Doyle. I don't think I threw this one. And that's a 1 and a 3 against the righty, and that's line and caught by Mayberry. So it's ripped off the screws. Doyle hits it on the nose, but right at the first baseman, who's positioned perfectly. And we go to top of the 6th inning. So 1 run on 2 hits and 1 left. Go to the top of the 6th. Now, one thing about these Digi dugout scorecards is that their numbers for innings are very small, so I kind of always write them in a little bit larger. Hard to read. 6, 7, 8, and 9. Yikes. All right. I think after this I'm going to have a beer and go to see a movie. Okay, I'm sorry. My brain was wandering. All right, so Fran Healy leading off here against the Express. And that's a 2 and a 7, and that's a strikeout. Another strikeout, number 6 for the Express. George Brett is up. He's 0 for 1 with a walk and a pop-up. So Ryan kicks and deals, and that's a 2 and an 11, and that's popped up. Middle infield, second baseman Chalk, the shortstop, calling for it. And no, Doyle comes over and takes it from him. So it's a P4. And they're looking at each other saying, hey, what happened there? Here's Freddie Patek. He's 0 for 2 with a walk and a stolen base and a run scored. That's a 6 and a 5, and that'll be a triple single splits with a 4. Almost hit another triple, and that's going to be line base hit center field, cut off by Rivers. Big turn by Patek, and no, he heads back to first. Second baseman whips it over the tag, and he is out. No, he's safe. The ball rolls out. So Freddie Patek with that big turn was almost caught off first base. He thought about going for two and then changed his mind. Here's Wolford with 2 out and 1 on, and the pitch from Ryan. And that is a 3 and a 10, and that will be a fly ball center field. Easy pickings for Rivers. He's under it. Squeeze it for the out. No runs. A hit. 1 left. Bottom of the 6th. Here we come. Doug Bird is still in there. Doug Bird is already in his point of weakness, so we have to watch out for that. That was the last inning. Mickey Rivers leads off against Bird. Love these out of production 74 cards, man. Love these. Gorgeous. All right, it's a 5 and an 11. And that's off the pitcher against a lefty, and that'll be second baseman X with a 5. The second baseman is a 2. So that'll be a ball that is scooped up by Rojas, and he throws out Rivers. Just gets him by half a step. Rivers can fly down that line. Walks up to the plate like an old man, but flies down the line when going to first or stealing bases. Here's Dave Chalk. Dave Chalk with a huge 2-run single, giving the Angels the lead in the bottom of the 4th, in that big bottom of the 4th, where the Angels scored 4 runs. And this is going to be a 5 and an 8, and this is bounced to second base. Another X result, and that'll be a ball that is played easily by Rojas for out number 2. Here is Valentine with a 5 and a 3, and that's bounced right back to the mound, and Bird feels his position and throws out Valentine. Valentine is now 0 for 4, having a rough day of it. So Ryan is going to face the heart of the order, Otis, Mayberry, and McRae, and that's a 3 and a 4, and that's bounced to third, played by Shaw. Shaw over to first, and high throw, but nice stretch, and Damus Otis almost got there. And luckily, first baseman Oliver has played first base for a while and was able to get that foot back down on the bag. Here's John Mayberry, and he's a lefty, so that's a 5, and a 2 is a fly ball center field X, so that's a drive center field. Rivers is a 3, so what's going to happen here? We roll the 10, and that's going to be a catch. Oh, nice running catch by Mick the Quick. So John Mayberry drives one deep, and Mick the Quick read it well and ran it down. So he turned on the Jets, and he was able to catch up with it with that speed. And here's Hal McRae. And a 2 and a 3 against a righty. So a 2 and a 3 is bounced to short, charged by Chalk. Chalk, bare hands, fires to first, and in time to get McRae 3 up and 3 down for Nolan Ryan. So Ryan has really settled down. Only allowed in 4 innings, allowed only 2 base runners, 2 hits. And here come the Angels in the bottom of the seventh inning stretch. So let's play Take Me Out to the Ballpark and get ourselves a brewski over at that concession. They will be closing down the concession. I don't know if they did that in the 70s. I don't know if they closed down the concessions or they left them open. You know, back then there was no such thing as drunk driving or seat belts or anything like that. Cars were, they were made out of steel. They were like tanks. They were like little Sherman tanks, or huge Sherman tanks, excuse me. Frank Robinson. And that is a 3 and a 4. And that is bounced to short. Easy play for Patek. 1 down. Next is Bob Oliver. Oliver today is 1 for 3 with a double and a run scored. And that's a 3 and a 10, and that'll be a fly ball center field. Amos Otis drifts under it, 2 down. And Paul Shaw now. Again off the pitcher, a 4 and an 8, and that's lined up the middle, and base hit gets through the infield to pass the diving Patek. So that is his second hit. He's 2 for 3 with a walk. So who's a nobody, he's been on base 3 times, but all off the pitcher card. And here's Tom McCraw. Here's a pitch. And a 2 and a 7. And that is going to be a bouncer to first. Easy play to retire the side. So that's about it for Doug Bird. He can't go any farther than that because he can only go 2 innings beyond his point of weakness, and he's already done that. So we'll have a new pitcher coming in here. All right, so warming up in the bullpen is Marty Patton for the Royals, and here is Ryan facing Rojas, Pinson, and Healy. Rojas is 3 for 3, led off the game in the first inning. Well, didn't lead off the game, but his first at bat in the first inning was an RBI triple, then a double in the third, a double in the fifth, and now here in the 8th inning, he's up again. Homer and a single get him the cycle, but I don't know if that's going to happen. I think Ryan wants that to happen. Here's a pitch from Ryan, and that is off Ryan, a 6 and a 4, and that's an end home run, 1-7. But no, it's going to be a drive in the gap, deep on the warning track is the left fielder Valentine, and Valentine comes up with it, bounces off the wall, falls on the ground, and holds on to the ball. And that, my friend, you're going to watch on This Week in Baseball. So Veda Pinson, great catch and great instincts by the left fielder Bobby Valentine, who can play all over the field, and he is a potential star of the future here, batting third with the Angels. They must have thought very highly of him. Not much of a player at all, but I don't know what the scouts were thinking back then. Here's Veda Pinson, and that's a 2 and a 3, and that is fly ball to shallow right field. Will McCraw get there? Yes, McCraw runs it down. Initially took a step back and then saw that it was a pop-up and rushed in and was able to get there. And here is Fran Healy. And that's a 3 and a 7. Strikeout for number 7 for the Express. So no runs, a hit in the bottom of the inning. No runs, 3 up and 3 down. So Ryan again has retired 7 in a row, getting stronger and stronger. And the new pitcher for the Royals is Marty Patton. If you get the roster sheet for the 74 set, most teams have 7 pitchers. They have 4 starters and basically a guy that does both, and then you have 2 relief pitchers. So you really have to let these relief pitchers go 2 and 3 innings, especially if you're and hold those starters in there a little bit longer. It was just the nature of baseball back then. Here's Marty Patton against Ellie Rodriguez. Rodriguez today is 2 for 3, hit a solo home run, picked up an RBI single in the 4th, and then fouled out to the catcher in the 5th. Here we are in the bottom of the 8th. Nolan Ryan is still in there. 8 innings so far for Ryan. He's allowed 4 runs. Hasn't allowed a lot of walks, believe it or not. He has 7 strikeouts, but only 4 walks so far. Here's a pitch, which is right. It's not that much for Nolan. So that's a 3 and a 5 against the righty, and that is going to be a ground ball to shortstop. Patek throws out Rodriguez with plenty of time. Denny Doyle is next, and he is 1 for 3. Hit the ball hard last time, but right at the first baseman. It's a 3 and an 8, and that is going to be a 1-7 single, but no, it's lined and caught by the second baseman, Rojas. White is on this team. Frank White, I remember him. He was the guy I remember. Rojas, this is towards the end of his starting stay. I know he stayed on with the Royals for a couple more years, but in kind of the support role, a supporting role. And I know Frank White took over at second base at some point. I remember him in 76, 77, 78, and so on. All right, so it's Mickey Rivers with 2 outs. Marty Patton. Rivers today had a big sacrifice. He moved 2 runners over, and then a single by Chalk scored both those runs. But he has a stolen base where he reached on an error, but he's 0 for 3. Let's see if we can pick up a hit here. Here's Marty Patton. That is a 3 and an 11, and struck him out. Looking Rivers. No runs, no hits, 3 up, 3 down. Last licks for the Royals. Nolan Ryan will be facing Brett, and then Patek and Wolford. So George Brett, the future Hall of Famer, just to what you can say so many, almost batted 400. I think he batted 390 in 1980. Pretty amazing. All right, here's Ryan versus Brett. Here's a pitch, and that's a 1 and a 9er, And 1 and a 9 is bounce to first. Easy play for Bob Oliver for the first out. So Ryan is 2 outs away from a complete game victory. 6-4 Angels. If I haven't talked about that, it's at the top of the page. 6-4 Angels. And here is Freddie Patek. And that's a 3 and a 4, and that will be popped up. Middle infield, second baseman Doyle calls off chalk, and the Royals are down to their last out. Jim Wolford. Wolford today is 1 for 4 with a double in the second inning. Pitch from Ryan, winds and deals, and it's a 2 and a 6, and that's struck him out. And Ryan blows a fastball for his 8th strikeout, and Ryan pitches a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Pitches an 8-hitter, goes 9, allows 4 runs, 4 earned runs, walks 4, and strikes out 8. Picks up the win. He is now, I believe, 6 and 2. I believe. Where's that paper I had? Or is he 6 and 3? Ah, yeah, here it is. Yeah, Ryan is 6 and 3 now with the victory. The Angels win it. Angels win it, no runs, no hits, and Ryan retires 7 in a row to end the game. He really struggled in that first inning where the Angels batted around in that first inning. That was crazy. It was a walk. Hold on a second. All right, that first inning for Ryan was really troublesome. There was a walk, 2 strikeouts, so you figure you're out of the inning, and then all of a sudden a home run by Mayberry, another walk to McRae, a triple by Rojas, RBI triple, an RBI double by Beta Pinson. Now you're really concerned. Then a walk to Healy, a walk to Brett. At this point, I was like, okay, I'm going to have to pull him. And then he struck out Patek to get out the inning. Excuse me. From that point on, he was really a different pitcher. Gave up a couple extra base hits later on, but really it was mostly outs, no more walks. So he finally got command of his pitches, and he pitched an outstanding game. So the final score is 6-4, 8 hits. And any errors? There was an error by somebody in this game, but I believe it was by the Royals, and no errors by the Angels. The Angels had how many hits? I didn't even count them. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 hits. So it's 6 runs, 9 hits, no errors for the Angels, 4 runs, 8 hits, and 1 error for the Royals. This is Tony Porter, Cards and Dice TV. Remember to like and subscribe my channel. Also, click on that little bell so you get alerted as to my videos. I do a lot of informational videos on the different games, and also have a couple of different replays going. Check those out. Also, Universal Baseball Association Facebook group. Remember to join that Facebook group. You'll really enjoy that. Bunch of great guys. And I will see you guys very, very soon. Thanks for watching. Adios.